I'll now ask Bobby Moody from Winston County and former House of Representative member to come forward to present our Friend of Ag Award. Mr. Bobby.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, as a longtime member of the legislature, I had an opportunity to be a part of recognizing and honoring a lot of state officials, a lot of members of the legislature, and a lot of important people. I don't think I ever had an opportunity to do something that gives me as much pleasure as to be able to recognize our Friends of Agriculture this year. When this gentleman came to the legislature in 1992, it didn't take long for us who were interested in agriculture to recognize what kind of friend agriculture really had. He was not one of those kind of folks that every time he saw a flash bulb, he headed for it, or every time he saw a TV camera, he headed for it. But when something needed to get done for production agriculture in the state of Mississippi, this gentleman was right there getting it done. He was one of what we call the ditch diggers. He got out and worked to make sure that it happened. And when he took a position, you didn't have to worry about going back and questioning him 2 or 3 times. Are you sure you're going to stick with us on this issue, or whatever comes up? One of the things that I had the responsibility of under Speaker Ford was, and this was before we had cell phones and all of the communication devices that we have now, but we had a system set up to where within 10 or 15 minutes, we could poll the House and know exactly how every issue was going to be voted on and whether or not it was going to pass. And I had the responsibility of keeping those numbers. And a lot of times I'd get awful nervous at some of the people that had agreed to vote on a certain issue. But this gentleman right here, you never had to go back to him the second time. You know, he came to the legislature as a farmer and an agricultural businessman. But he was one of those folks that just, as I said earlier, just got the job done when you needed to get it done. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to present this to my friend Bobby Shiles. And a friend is a term that I don't use very lightly. I was told one time by an older member of the legislature when I first got there, we identify a lot of people as our friends and we introduce them to people as our friends. We should be introducing them as this is an acquaintance of mine, because we're very fortunate in life if we have 4 or 5 really true friends. But as I said, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present this to my friend Bobby Shiles. Bobby's from Jones County. His wife Sandra is here with him, and he has 2 children, Natalie and Eric. Natalie works for Sanders, our poultry supplier, and Eric teaches school at East Central Community College. So as I said earlier, there's nothing that could give me any more pleasure than to be able to present this to my true friend, Bobby Shiles.
It won't be many. If everything Moody said was true, I'm a pretty good man. But really and truly, Bobby Moody, and he's one of the best friends I had when I was in the legislature. And like he said, if he said, this is it, buddy, that was it. And that's the way it ought to be. And Farm Bureau is the biggest leader, the main leader for agriculture in the state of Mississippi. But they're not only leaders in agriculture, they're leaders in this state. And they are leaders in improving the quality of life for people who live in this state. They are one of the main reasons we don't have term limits today. They led that fight to do away with to stop term limits. Not once, but twice. But I ain't gonna have a whole lot more to say, but I appreciate this award. There's a lot more it needs. It probably deserves it a lot more than I do, but you can bet yourself I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Bobby Moody gave Representative Shiles a commemorative plaque that he can hang on his wall, and we certainly appreciate everything he's done for us.